Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Josey. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Josey. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Josey, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is what to look for when choosing a hard money lender. Let's talk about one of the most crucial relationships you'll ever build as a real estate investor, partnering with the right hard money lender. The lender you choose can be the difference between a deal that closes smoothly and one that leaves you scrambling for cash or stuck with sky-high fees. Too many investors jump at the first offer only to get burned by hitting costs, rigid terms, or lenders who ghost them when things get tough. If you want to play in the big leagues, you need to know exactly what to look for and what to avoid when picking your lending partner. Here are 5 actionable tips to help you choose the right hard money lender for your next deal. Number 1, dig deep on reputation and track record. Start by asking fellow investors, your local RIA, or even your real estate attorney for lender recommendations. Check online reviews and real estate forums for consistent feedback, good and bad. A solid lender will have a proven track record of successful deals and happy clients. Number 2, understand the terms, all of them. Don't just look at that interest rate. Ask about points, fees, prepayment penalties, minimum loan amounts, and extension costs. Make sure you get a full breakdown in writing so there are no surprises at closing or down the line. Number 3, gauge their flexibility and communication. A great lender doesn't just hand you money. They work with you when the unexpected happens. Ask how they handle delays, change orders, or hiccups in the rehab process, because that never happens. Are they accessible and responsive, or do they disappear when you need answers? Number 4, verify their funding process and speed. Time kills deals in real estate. Find out how quickly they can close, what documentation they need, and whether they fund in-house or broker it out. The right lender should be able to move at the speed of your business, not the other way around. And number 5, analyze their draw process. This one is huge. Every hard money lender will have their own way of releasing rehab funds. Some are fast and painless, while others are slow and bureaucratic. Ask exactly how the draw process works. What documentation do you need? How long does it take to get funds after an inspection? Are there upfront fees for each draw? A transparent, efficient draw process keeps your project moving and your contractors paid. So, remember, choosing the right hard money lender isn't just about getting the lowest rate. It's about building a relationship with a partner who wants to see you succeed. Take your time, ask the tough questions, and don't settle for anything less than total transparency. Protect your deals, your profits, and your peace of mind, because that's how you build a reputation as a true badass. Now on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us Demetrius Coach D Etheridge, a Navy veteran who transformed 24 years of military leadership into a thriving multi-industry empire. As the founder of Freedom Legacy Holding Group Incorporated, Coach D is revolutionizing how people approach personal credit, business funding, and passive income with his all-in-one cash flow leveraging ecosystem. He's also a digital technology consultant, blockchain community capital expert, licensed insurance agent, and global streaming TV reseller. Beyond his impressive resume, Coach D is passionate about education. He's a published author and a course facilitator dedicated to empowering others to achieve financial freedom and business success. From Navy ships to boardrooms, Coach D truly represents service, innovation, and a commitment to lifting others up. We are thrilled to have him on the show, so welcome, Coach D. Woohoo! What a background you have. So many different things. I sold insurance briefly as well, so interesting. Well, welcome, Coach D. Thrilled to have you. Let's start off with, well, by the way, thank you for your service and your leadership in our military. So thank you for that. So I want to know what inspired you to transition from successful Navy career into full-time entrepreneurship and real estate investing. That was a loaded question, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Enough of me talking. This is all about you now.
But before we get started, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come share. I don't take it lightly. I don't take people's time lightly. I take every day as if it's going to be my last. I just try and focus on that. And because if I don't know, Jen, what if you're the last person I speak to?
Oh my goodness. That's
No, I mean, but that's good. That's a true
right.
reality.
Yes,
So
that's true.
I don't look at the bad side of it. I look at what would I leave this earth with?
Wonderful.
What will be the last word? So I just try and focus on that. And that gets me through the day. And so what made me transition, being born and raised here outside the city of Atlanta in Decatur, Georgia, going in the military at 18 years old, I learned so much. And I wanted to be able to give back over the things I saw around the world. I mean, it's a great space to be in life. And I just want to enjoy it and help other people enjoy their life.
Wonderful. Well, looking back, I'm just curious, what was one of your biggest fears when you left that paycheck, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest fear was, what if? What if I don't succeed? What if I retire and I'm not fulfilled anymore? Because the military allowed me to do a lot of things. And I just had always, what if? I didn't know the other side of what if, but I always thought about it. So I can't even remember the other part of the question because I get so excited.
The transition, and how did you overcome that fear and be able to take that leap to trusting a business to bring in money regularly as opposed to giving up a weekly or monthly paycheck?
Yes. Well, for me, the transition was hard because of the mindset I had and what I did in the military, my background with communications, and all the things I did coming up through the ranks to get commissioned as an officer. I was not ready for the transition from a daily point, stress-wise.
Right.
Because the things I did in the military, if I didn't communicate effectively, people died.
Right.
So my transition was, I didn't know what to expect. And so when I got out here in the real world, I call it now the real world, with people who don't think like me, who don't act like me because of the discipline, consistent, and patient, it shocked me because customer service was not the same customer service I was used to for 24 straight years. So
that is a true statement right there.
So my transition was more of a shock and awe. I wasn't worried about it, but until I started experiencing the things out there, that's when I got more depressed. That's when I got more anxiety, because I didn't expect it to be this way, because I thought I was really transitioning from the military. I thought it was going to really be a piece of cake. I can go out here and do what I want to do. And reality hit in, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do because people didn't think the same way.
Right. And I had a similar story. I was a school teacher for 16 years, and then I was in health insurance, and I just was used to being on a schedule, and same thing with like military. So when I left my corporate America job, I said, I'm turning my alarm off, and I didn't know what to do with myself. It was one of those where like I was so used to being on a bell schedule from being a teacher, and then I had all this freedom. And so it was actually very lonely as well when I first started and having to find my people. So it is a very bizarre experience. And did you have this issue, your family members and people real close saying, Why would you leave a perfectly great military career or 9 to 5 job? Why would you do that? To step away from that safety net. So did you have any situations like that where people were kind of doubting that you could do it?
I think more people for me, I retired. So I didn't leave the comfort
Gotcha.
of the military paycheck. I got a retirement check. But what I did leave was my ability to create wealth because of my security clearance. I could have went out and got a contracting job. I could have did that and did pretty well. 6 figures easily.
Right.
But now why would I want to come out here and go reinvent myself, the work, to do why? And so people didn't understand my passion. They didn't understand my ability to be my own badass boss. I wanted to be who I was. I didn't want to have to worry about nobody telling me what to do. And it was just a different transition. Now that I'm thinking about it, the questions you're asking, I almost kind of like them blacked out on that. So the memory is not there no more because I said, I don't want to think about that no more.
Yep. Well said. So, what advice would you give to someone who is maybe driving to work right now, listening to this podcast, and they are scared to death that they are going to fail at real estate? So, what advice would you give them?
Ooh, the first thing I tell people all the time, you got to get your mind right.
That's right.
Your mind is your number one enemy. So if you can improve you, you don't have to worry about what anybody else around you is saying. You respect them now, but improve you. Get your mind right. Believe in yourself. Believe in your ability to go achieve the goals and dreams that you have said to yourself, because nobody told you these goals. You started thinking these goals and dreams. You started visualizing. So believe that you can actually achieve them if you depend on you, not nobody else. You want to collaborate with them, but depend on you first. So you're going to go into that job. You might have had a good night. You might have even listened to a pre-recorded podcast and you're ready to go. And the first thing you get in there, and somebody say, oh, how was that little podcast you was talking about yesterday? Because people, and it throws you off for the rest of the day.
Right.
Don't allow other people's failures to bother you. Become unbothered in the things that are happening around you.
That is so true. And a good friend of mine, Jerry Green, I don't know if Jerry Green, but he had a post on social media today that said, people who have a plan B typically do plan B, something of that sort, where, you've got to, and other people that say, burn the boats. There's that phrase of don't even set yourself up to, in case you fail, there's no option but to succeed. So I believe 1,000% the same. So one thing that we're going back into mindset here a little bit, one of your phrases that you put on your questionnaire was you wanted to let the listeners know that they have permission to dream bigger. So what does that mean to you?
Think about it. We're always asking for permission. We even have to ask for permission to get married. We have to go get a marriage license and have to go before the board. You have to ask for permission to get a license. Imagine you waking up every day and you don't have to ask someone permission to do what you want to do. I mean, good, bad, I'm not promoting any bad stuff, but just think about, you want to be successful. You want to be happy today, and you don't have to ask for permission. You can just wake up and say, I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to have a great day. Nothing wrong. I'm not asking for permission. I'm speaking it into existence.
Very good.
It's also that mindset is so powerful. You don't need nobody else's permission to be happy or to dream big. It's you are the one to give yourself permission. That's what I want them to know. Give themselves permission.
I love that, Coach D. Thank you for sharing that. So I want to get into some of the nitty gritty stuff here, and I could use some tips on this, but you talk about the importance of personal credit optimization. So what are some common credit mistakes that newer investors make? This is another loaded question. And what steps can they take to strengthen their credit profiles before going full time? I coach a lot of students and they come in and they have a 500 something credit score and it's just tough to get started. So I'll repeat the question because I loaded up there, but what are some common credit mistakes that newer investors make? Let's start there.
Number one is they don't even know their credit score.
Yeah, that is true.
They come in and say, hey, I want to be a real estate investor. What's your credit score? And they just give you this blank look. So the main thing is educating yourself first, improving your knowledge, improving your understanding of how credit works. That's the number one thing, because a lot of times I get people, they come and they ask for help, but they don't have a plan. So go ahead and road map your plan. Look at individuals, companies, whoever that are getting credit. Do they provide credit education while
Nice.
they're fixing your credit? Because if they don't educate you, guess what they're expecting? They know you're going to come back 6, 7 months, 8 months, a year later to get your credit redone again.
Yep.
But if they're going to educate you how to optimize your credit and maintain it after they help you, that's the number one thing. Or so credit education.
So what are some tips that investors can do to bring up their credit score? I mean, I've heard things that if you make a double, like a payment the first of the month and then do one 15 days later, that will help. Making multiple payments. What tips do you have to help them get their credit scores up?
The number one thing is utilization on whatever they currently have. So so if you look at utilization on credit cards, most of the time, everybody, you hear people say 30%, get it under 30%. Each card need to be under 30%.
Right.
Not just your overall credit. I tell people get it under 10.
Woo.
That way, and the reason I say it, because when you get it under 10, it lets the lender know that you are responsible. It's the lender don't have to talk to you. If they go pull your credit profile, they say he got $15,000 worth of access to credit, and it's only 1,500 on there. The lender said, "Oh wow, this person is using credit correctly, responsibly, before they even get started." That's number one that I would tell them.
Well, Coach D, you're talking to a shopper and you haven't seen my closet, which is full of shoes. I'm one of those weight fluctuators where the fat girl loves their shoes because they stay the same when your weight goes up and down. So I am a shopper. So when you said 10%, I was like, I don't think I could. I will work on that though. I like that. So that's personal credit. Let's talk a little bit about business credit funding. And you say that it's a game changer for scaling quicker. So what does that look like to improve your business credit or even start developing business credit?
One of the things I found out with personal and business credit, they work totally opposite. Personal credit, the largest percent is on your utilizations, as I just said.
Yep.
But those trade lines, you need a good credit mix. You need that, but that utilization. On the business side, you're not penalized for utilization. See, on the personal side, you might have that $15,000 again, and you use 10,000. They're gonna say, "Oh, your utilization's too high. We can't lend you no more money," even though you got income coming in.
Right.
On the business side, when they see you utilizing, if you got a $15,000 business line of credit and you're utilizing 10, long as you're making your payments on time, you will not be penalized. As a matter of fact, the lender is going to fight to give you more money because they see that you are a spender. You like to shop. You like to do things for your business. They're going to give you more access to capital as long as your on-time payments are good. That's a big difference in between personal and business.
Good. And what's a good place to start to grow your business credit? I mean, people talk about the Uline catalog, ordering stuff through there. I mean, is that true? Ours grew naturally, and so we did not go out and have to do things. But for someone who's really trying to start from the beginning to grow that business credit, where should they go?
You just said one of the number one things. Your credit profile, your business credit profile, is what a lender look for. So you need. Using the Ulines and Quills, they are still good. As a matter of fact, it's almost like I tell people, it's like having an iPhone 5 and an iPhone 15 or 16 now. There are ways that you can go a lot faster now because of technology. To get those trade lines to report on your business credit, like your nav.com is a great site to go get. Then you get the nav.com cards. That's 2 trade lines.
What is that? NAV? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, nav.com.
Okay.
That's a great place for someone to go and learn, get those initial trade lines established. And then that way, so they can report to your business trade line. The number one thing is about what reports to your trade line. Then make sure everything is set up in accordance with what lenders are looking for. Every lender looks for different things. I love what you said in the beginning about hard money lenders and different things. Every lender is different. Every lender. Think all lenders are the same. So, but your profile, if it's properly structured, a lender will find you.
That is excellent, excellent advice, Coach D. Thank you for sharing that. So I kind of want to turn a little bit direction here and get into the whole passive income that everyone hears out there, and they say, I want to do real estate investing because it's passive. And there's not truly much that is actually passive, but I like short-term rentals. And that's one of the things that you have people start with is short-term rentals like Airbnb. So what are the keys to making that a truly sustainable income stream? Because like we said before, people are afraid to leave their 9-to-5 jobs because of that constant money coming in paychecks. So how can they utilize that through something like Airbnb with short-term rentals?
It goes back to your personal credit first.
Okay.
Making sure that's clean so you can build a good business profile, utilizing your personal credit at first. You get those personal guarantees. We hear people talk about that all the time. And then once you get those personal guarantees and those other trade lines on your business credit, now you want to get to what I call tier 3. And I say this process works because the lender looks at your personal credit. Then it goes to your business entity structure. Now you get the funds. What you're going to do after you get the money? The number one thing I tell people, find a passive resource first so that you don't have to worry about paying back the loan. So I use short-term rentals to service the debt that I've got in my business. And I use a 12-month contract. I have a private broker that goes out and get all my rentals. I don't have to go out and look for them. I don't have to make sure the carpet cleaned. I don't have to talk to anybody. It's passive. I'm a co-host inside of this concept.
Gotcha.
It's a 12-month lease. I don't have to worry about the property. I don't have to do none of that. I invest, the co-host, the lender gives me back a return on my investment every month for a year. Then at the end of the year, I go back and I can re-up again if I want to. And I can get as many of these passive income properties as I want. And the beautiful thing about it is now, let's say you get $100,000 in lending. Take 20. I'm just throwing a number out there. You can take whatever you want, but I tell people recommend about 20, 21,000. Go get you some co-hosts. That money will turn around and be between $5 to $8 a month coming in. That can service that debt, but it's also income for you to go do other things as you are an investor. Now that 80,000, that rest of that money you got, you can really go work because you don't have to worry about paying back your loan because the passive income is doing it for you every month.
So let me break this down a little further because you're saying co-hosting. Are you talking about doing like an arbitrage model where somebody owns the, say it's just a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and you go in and rent it from that person, and then you sublet it out as a short-term rental? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about finding people who already have short-term rentals and then becoming their co-host? Tell me how the co-host fits in there.
Bingo, part 2.
Okay. Part 2, gotcha.
Truly passive. The other part, I don't want to go and find anybody. So that is being done for me through my broker. The broker goes out, makes the deal. They already have the properties. I come in and I invest in that as a co-host on that property to help them maintain it, to help them do the thing. And they give me a passive monthly residual income from my investment. Yes.
Gotcha. So that this person is a thirsty investor. They're out there running that Airbnb, but they need help with funding for it. You're plopping $20K into it, and then you're getting a portion of it because you're a co-host.
Yes.
Gotcha. Perfect. I like that. And I also do like the arbitrage model. I have a guest. I'm a little under the weather. I'm heavily medicated, listeners, but I had a guest I had to cancel on yesterday. Hopefully he will reschedule, that does the arbitrage model. So it's a very interesting concept, especially when mortgage rates are so high right now. So I love that we touched a little bit on that. But in your intro, it talked about, let me see if I can find this on here. Here it is. The all-in-one cash flow leveraging ecosystem. That's a lot of words in there. So what in the world does that mean? The all-in-one cash flow leveraging ecosystem.
It's what we've been talking about from the beginning. It starts with credit. Most time you hear a lender or someone say, what's your credit score? If it's 680 and above on all 3, no derogatories, hey, come on, we can get you funding. Right. If it's not, you have to go back through credit optimization. Once you get your credit right, that's the number one thing for anything, for any business owner. I'm telling you, in the real estate space. Then you go get a business entity. You don't want all this cash flow coming to you.
Mm-mm.
You go put it toward that business entity. And as that business entity is optimized and excuse me, as that business entity is optimized, now you're able to get more funding through that business entity. So this all-in-one ecosystem basically shows you how to go get other people's money, invest it into other people's assets, and they receive cash flow from that without touching your money. I tell people, keep your money. If you get your credit profile properly structured, your business entity set up, you have cash flow that is waiting to come to you. The overall knowledge out here, excuse me, let me say this. In order to get money, lenders want to give it to corporations. They don't want to give it to individuals. Get it to your corporation, get properly structured. So this all-in-one system shows you the whole blueprint on how to get access to other people's money to invest in other people's property.
Thank you. And I also want to clarify a little bit, because in the beginning, maybe it wasn't a good combination to do what I did for my badassery of the stomach, because I was talking about hard money. But the money you're talking about is more lines of credit, business credit. Is that what you're saying?
I call that the low hanging fruit, the business line of credit. You want to get those, that gets you started, but we want to get you to tier 3 where you're getting business line, large business line of credit, not personally guaranteed, unsecured.
Right.
And you can use it over and over, because once you use it, you can go back, pay it down without having to go back and get approval to get more money.
And listeners, a hard money lender is going to be attaching it to a rehab project that you are working on. So that's where the difference is here. So thank you for that clarification. So going into the last part of my questioning here is the action steps and listener empowerment. So for someone who's listening right now, like I said, they're driving to work, and you talked about doing rentals in the beginning, but what is their very first step that they need to take? They've done the business credit, they've worked those things up, they've got their personal credit score up. What is the very first step that they should take?
The very first step is now continue to believe in the process that they've done. Now implement those things that they've already put in place. Hopefully, before they even get to this point, they already have their plan. So now that they got the capital to do what they need to do, now they should go ahead and continue to believe in their dreams, their goal, and implement their dream and goal now, because now they got the cash flow to do it.
And Coach D, what do they need though? I'm lobbing you one here for education. They should get a mentor. That's where I was going with that. So
I do that, but you know what? Yes, they do. But you got to believe that the mentor, the coach, is going to be able to help you. That's why I say it's self-belief first. Because if I go pay $10,000 a month for a mentor, and I don't believe that the mentor is going to help me, or I'm hoping that the mentor is going to help me, I'm wasting a lot of money.
That is so true. Thank you for saying that. You have to be in the right mindset when you invest in yourself, whether it be an education program, one mentor. So thank you for clarifying that. And I love this that you talked about before, but you were talking about giving them permission to dream bigger. So how do you help newer real estate investors and empower themselves to really go after their dreams? And I mean, I know we've been talking a lot about mindset here. Do you have anything specific where just to really give them permission to start dreaming bigger?
That's an attitude. You got to have an attitude. You got to have an invincible attitude that, like, no matter what nobody say, I believe in me, I'm going to make this happen. So you got to have an attitude of belief. So you, like I say, if I'm giving you permission, I'm giving you the attitude to be confident in what you want to do, because I know I'm going to achieve my goals, my dreams. So my attitude is not cocky, it's not conceited, it's of action. I'm an action taker, and I don't have time for small-minded things. I'm going big. I'm taking the last shot.
I love it.
I'm kicking the field goal to win the football game. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game.
I love all of that, and I appreciate you doing that. Do you have a specific story of a mentee, maybe someone that you've been working with that was this huge success story where something just clicked overnight and then they just started going for it? Do you have any specific success stories of your past students?
Yes, I have one. You also wind up being, I met him about 5 years ago. He was a trucker. He drove trucks, him and his wife, tandem driving trucks. We met and we was doing some things together in the crypto space. That's where we met at. And we started learning, crypto is very volatile. So, you got to believe in what you're doing in the crypto space, just like anything else. So we're doing those and we're learning and we continue to grow. And now we have become almost like brothers. But he's been driving for so long and I'm listening to his story. I'm talking to him at night because I'm up thinking about stuff. These conversations get very deep. And you know what I told him? I said, you know what? You got so much knowledge. You need to take that and implement it into your dream. And you can say this day, he tells me all the time, you helped me get out of a truck that I was driving for 39 years. And now they are on their own time. They're not on the time of the broker, of the dispatcher. If they don't want to get on the road now, they don't. If they want, they are in control of their time. So my thing is, he showed me that what I was sharing with him allowed him to get his time back. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people get their time back. And that's the power of this, because the one thing we can't control is time.
That's right.
But we can slow it down by educating ourselves. So that's my thing, helping people get their time back.
And do you work with people one-on-one in person or is it virtual?
Yes, it's more than virtual.
Okay.
Here, like I said, I'm in Loganville. If somebody local, yes, it can be personal, but it's all with this technology, like what we're talking right now, you can't fake this.
Right.
When you're talking to somebody in video in real time, you can't fake this energy. If you do, guess what? That's not on the person. That's on you because you didn't know what you were looking for. Don't let nobody fool you. This energy I got is real. What I know yours is real because I can tell by reading your background. I was like, oh, she's real. And so it's
real wild, baby.
Well, no, the wild in a good thing. See, who programmed me to tell me the wild was bad?
Right.
No, I look at it all from the good side.
Awesome. Well, I was asking about the virtual because I can think of a story with one of my students who we always met virtually. And I kept saying, find your local RIA, find people nearby and this, that, because for me personally, that was where it flipped in my head was these people are doing it in my backyard and they can flip houses, buy rentals, do short-term rentals, whatever it is. And by having that local group of people, because I feel a lot of people are in the comfort of their own home, behind their screen, they got their lights, but getting out there into your area and meeting people who you can share contractors with, share real estate attorneys with. We're in an attorney state, but just those type of things where that really flipped it for them, but we still have each other virtually, but that really was a big difference for them. So
can I say something real quick?
Please.
You said something very powerful. We're so much in competition with each other, especially coaches and people that do different things. I'm not a competition coach. I'm a collaboration coach.
Yep.
What you just said, go out and collaborate with people. That's where the true networking comes about. Because see, sometimes when you say networking, people have a negative connotation to it. But if you understand what true networking is, you won't be afraid to get out in your local community to connect with people.
Absolutely. And I tell people it's not pie. It's not you get a piece of the pie, you get a piece of pie. Now the pie is gone. No, everybody gets pie because there's so much out there. And I think someone with your experience and your history in this industry, you nailed it on the head. We all want to help each other. There are things that you are much better at than I am as when it comes to coaching people. So working with each other, find your person out there who will help you and really motivate you to go ahead and take those action steps. So Coach D, that was fantastic. I want to move to the second part of the podcast here, which is what makes Coach D a badass, which you are. And I use the acronym BADASS, and the first letter is B for book. What's a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
Oh, The Daily Stoic.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Yes, it's The Daily Stoic. It's 365 daily meditations.
Love
And
it.
it's about the stoic mindset. And what it does is it gives you think about it, 1 page a day. You read 365 days. When we read a book, we want to try and read it as fast as we can.
Right.
But this 1 thought a day, second day, it just builds up every day. I'm on my 2nd rotation of this book, and my life is like, wow.
I love it. I'm huge into affirmations.
Yes.
I love me some Hal Elrod. By the way, Hal Elrod, if you're listening, I love you. Come on my podcast. But he's great in the affirmations, and I have them all over the place. So
Yes.
thank you. I'm so glad you said that. By the way, before we carry on, what is a global streaming TV reseller? That was in your intro, and I don't even know what that is. Global streaming TV reseller. What does that mean?
Yes, I resell streaming TV globally.
Really?
People can get access to streaming TV globally. All the thing you hear a lot of people talk about, they hate cable. They hate the prices. So you just stream it. You get your Fire Stick, put a program on there, and you're able to get access to a lot more than what cable gives.
Ah,
Small price every month. And you get access to movies, you get access to all the things that you're paying cable for. But now, instead of watching local news and they trying to tell me about something going on in LA, no, I go right to the LA news stations and get it because of the streaming capability I have.
interesting. And thank you for taking the time to do that. And we also did insurance. Did you do health insurance or life insurance? What type of insurance?
Yes. I'm life and health both.
Yep, I did those as well. In fact, I drove to my life insurance test in an ice storm, by the way. So there was a little irony going to take that test.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's behind me though. But all right, we went on a total left turn there. I had other questions for you and I was like, I forgot to ask those. All right, so the first A in badass is for advice. You've given us amazing advice, but what's the best piece of advice you've ever received, Coach D?
The best piece of advice I ever received was from my high school coach here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. His name is William Buck Godfrey. If you go look up the State of Georgia High School, he's a legend.
Nice.
And I was in the 10th grade, and he told us we was playing in a game.
What sport?
Football.
Okay.
Yeah, and I played wide receiver, flanker nowadays. And he looked at us. We was in the locker room. We was losing this game. And I remember him saying, the man in the mirror. When you wake up tomorrow and you go in the bathroom and you brush your teeth and you look at that man in the mirror, only you can say you gave it all on every play. You know what you did. You know if you did your assignment every play, because the film don't lie. We're going to see it, but you need to go out there and know that I'm being watched on every play. So look at the man in the mirror. You can't lie to the man or woman in the mirror.
No, you can't.
So when you out here every day, you can go out here and fake it till you make it. But when you get home, you're not doing any homework, any research. The man in the mirror knows. So I learned to stop lying to myself. Like I really gave my all when I know I didn't. So it prepared me for this, for the rest of my life. I didn't know it then. I was just thought coach was motivating us to just to don't lose the game. But really it was preparing me for a life lesson.
Isn't that amazing how high school sports, I also did I did music growing up, and just having those different ways of connecting with others, and whether team sports, music, whatever it is, I love all of that. So thank you for sharing that. All right. The D in badass is for drive. What drives you to be successful?
My family. Leaving a legacy for my family. I always want to be the uncle or the grandfather. You go in there, I'm kind of with the picture on the wall and they sitting there in the ruffled shirt, the tuxedo. How did the family get famous? It's because of Papa D, Grandpa D, Uncle D. That's a dream. I want my kids and my grandkids to have a better life than me.
And how many kids do you have?
Well, I have 4 kids.
Okay.
And then I got now remarried, so married 2 more.
Nice.
So all the kids are grown. So that's the best thing about it. But I just want them to be able to know that I left a legacy for them. So that's my thing. Leaving my legacy is the one thing that I'm determined to do. I'm disciplined to do. And more important, I will not get distracted so I can leave that legacy.
And real estate is a great way to leave a legacy for their family because it lasts a lot longer than we do on this earth. So wonderful. And grandbabies too, did you say?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I was a school teacher for 16 years, so I developed an allergy towards children. So I didn't have any myself. All right. The second A in badass is for aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you are currently working on?
My number one goal is to build out my community and build it out to where it's free flowing, to read to where the people, it really is a community where people, the brand, when they see the brand Freedom Legacy Holding Group, when they see it, they're going to want to be a part of the community. That's my aspiration. So to build a community that people can come in and truly attach their vision to, their goals to, and learn these principles and go out and use them in their daily life.
And how do they find Freedom Legacy Holding Group? The listeners.
Yes. freedomlegacyholdinggroup.com is the website. You can go there and it gives you it's starting out with just a basic overview, but I'm updating it now. So it's going to change. So if you go there now, that's how you can find me. I have contact information on that. You can reach out to me to learn more about what I'm doing and how I'm helping your listeners.
Okay. And is it an education program? Is it a mastermind? What does it look like to the person?
Blueprint. I call it the blueprint.
Blueprint. Excellent.
Yeah. You might be here in part A of the blueprint, or you might be at part B of the blueprint. So the blueprint is, no matter where you at, it's going to help you get through this entire program. Everything we've been talking about, the ecosystem.
I love that. All right. The first S in badass is for systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
Yes, that's that ecosystem. That all-in-one ecosystem is there and it's continuing to develop every day. So number one is the education. Providing that education for people on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly, monthly basis, by doing, first of all, improving myself so I can come back and give it to other people, but putting things in place, whether it's a newsletter. I have a newsletter that I'm going to be launching out that people will be able to get access to. And in that community, that's going to be the big thing. So by this time next year, you're going to hear Freedom Legacy Holding Group, the community. So I'm building that brand so that system can be there for people. When they plug into it, they know they're in the right place at the right time with the right people, not just a saying or a catchphrase.
Absolutely. And there's groups out there everywhere where you just have to find your people where you feel most comfortable, because there are a ton of groups and 90% of them are great and there to help and support each other. But one thing that you said was, when you're helping others, it helps you become better at what you do. That's my favorite part about coaching, is when students are asking me certain things and I'm like, well, let's figure this out together, because it makes me better. Teaching is the best form of learning. I had to remember what that phrase was. So Thank you for touching on that, because that's so very important. All right. I could talk to you all day, Coach D, but the final S in badass is for success. What does success mean to Demetrius Etheridge?
Wow. Success just means, success is one thing, but I want to be successful. Success to me is an individual thing. That's a personal goal. But I want to be successful, because in order to be successful, I have to help a lot of people get to their success. So I look at success as helping people achieve their goals and their dreams, because I'm going to achieve mine. I know I can get mine. I know I can. If I want to make 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, I can just become disciplined, consistent, and patient, and I'm going to get there. So to me, success is seeing people get what they call the aha moment. Mm-hmm. Helping this young real estate investor achieve their dream. Oh, I got funding. I got my business set up. Oh, I got my first loan.
I got my first property under contract.
That's what I'm saying. And that's my success, because they're going to talk about me more than I talk about myself once I help them become successful.
Well, I can see how you are such a great motivator to most in your area, in your program. What I like the most, that's where I was using the word most, by the way. I don't know where that came out early, but what I like most about one nugget that you said was to start sooner with that passive income, because I wish I would have done that. So that was a great piece of advice for the listeners. And one more time, how can they find you so that they can check out your community, see what it's all about, maybe start getting on that newsletter? So tell us how to find you one more time.
Yes, you can go to freedomlegacyholdinggroup.com. That's the website. You'll go there. If you really want to follow me on social media. Go down below. You're going to see the links down there on their website. Click on the different sites. Follow me because I put out a daily nugget on my social media pages. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I got my own Facebook page. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. And I'm on Instagram. So that video goes out every day and it talks about what we're talking about. It could be personal credit optimization, business entity, and getting funding and the passive income as well.
Yes. And I can tell you are passionate and so good at what you do with your inspiration that you have shared with us today. So Coach D, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate our time together.
Thank you for having me, Jen.
Absolutely. And that is all. Thank you for listening. And we will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josey by visiting therealjenjosey.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.